Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast. I'm Jennifer, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Elizabeth. How are you today, Elizabeth?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm particularly excited about today's topic because it's something we've all debated at some point, choosing the best pizza topping, healthy versus tasty. It's a classic dilemma. Do you go for the indulgent toppings you crave, or do you opt for healthier choices that make you feel a bit more virtuous?
Yes, this is a topic I think we can all relate to. Pizza is such a universally loved food, but the toppings we choose can say a lot about our priorities. Do we prioritize flavor, or do we try to make our pizza healthier? I think there's a balance to be found, but the question of which is better, healthy or tasty toppings, is a tough one.
It really is. Pizza, by its very nature, isn't exactly known for being a healthy food, but there are ways to make it more nutritious. For instance, choosing toppings like fresh vegetables, lean proteins, and even some types of cheese can add nutritional value without sacrificing too much on flavor. But I'll be honest, sometimes I'm just craving pepperoni, extra cheese, and maybe even a drizzle of ranch.
I completely understand that. There's something about those classic indulgent toppings, pepperoni, sausage, extra mozzarella, that are hard to resist. They're what many people consider the essence of a good pizza. But it's interesting how our approach to pizza can vary, depending on what we're looking for. If you want something more balanced, healthier toppings like spinach, mushrooms, or grilled chicken can offer a lighter option without losing that satisfaction of eating pizza.
That's a good point. There's this perception that if you're going for healthy toppings, you're compromising on taste. But I don't think that's necessarily true. For example, roasted vegetables like bell peppers, zucchini, or even broccoli can be incredibly flavorful, especially when paired with the right seasonings and cheeses. Plus, you can always experiment with different combinations that balance flavor and health, like adding arugula or fresh basil for a peppery, refreshing taste.
Exactly. And while healthier options are often perceived as less exciting, they can actually enhance the overall experience. Think about it. Adding spinach, sun-dried tomatoes, or even artichokes can bring out new flavors that you wouldn't get from the heavier, more processed toppings. Not to mention, there's a certain satisfaction in knowing that you're making a healthier choice, especially if pizza is something you enjoy regularly. However, I do think the indulgent toppings have their place too.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with indulging every now and then, especially if you're in the mood for something comforting and satisfying. After all, pizza is often a treat, so it's understandable that people would gravitate toward toppings that feel indulgent. Pepperoni, bacon, or extra cheese might not be the healthiest options, but they're undeniably delicious. Key, perhaps, is moderation. You can still enjoy these toppings without overloading the pizza.
Yes, moderation is crucial. You can always mix and match, right? For example, you might have half the pizza with healthier toppings, say mushrooms, spinach, and grilled chicken, and the other half with more indulgent options like sausage or extra cheese. This way, you can enjoy the best of both worlds without feeling like you've sacrificed flavor or health.
I agree, and there's another factor to consider here, the base of the pizza. Choosing a whole grain or cauliflower crust, for instance, can instantly make your pizza healthier, regardless of the toppings. That way, even if you go for something like pepperoni or cheese, you're still getting some nutritional benefits from the base. It's about being thoughtful about the whole pizza, not just the toppings.
That's a great point, Elizabeth. The crust plays a huge role in how healthy or indulgent a pizza can be. Whole wheat or cauliflower crusts are becoming increasingly popular because they offer fiber and other nutrients that traditional white flour crusts don't. Plus, they can be just as tasty, especially when paired with the right toppings. But I have to admit, there's something about a classic, chewy, slightly crispy traditional crust that's hard to beat.
True, the texture of the crust is a big part of the pizza experience. But I do think that with so many alternatives available now, people are starting to realize that they can have a delicious pizza without it being too heavy. For example, I've had cauliflower crust pizzas that are just as satisfying as regular ones, especially when topped with fresh veggies and herbs.
It's incredible how far pizza options have come in terms of variety, and I think that variety makes this debate all the more interesting. It's not simply about choosing between health and flavor anymore. There's a whole spectrum of possibilities that can cater to different preferences and dietary needs. But that leads to the ultimate question. If you had to choose between healthy and tasty, which would you go for? Let's be honest here.
If I had to choose, I think I'd lean toward the healthier side, especially if it's an everyday meal. There's something to be said for feeling good after eating, and healthier toppings tend to leave me feeling more energized and less weighed down. Plus, there's no reason healthy can't be tasty too. But I will admit, if it's a special occasion or a Friday night after a long week, there's no way I'm saying no to a pizza loaded with pepperoni and extra cheese.
I think that's a very balanced approach. I'd probably lean slightly more toward indulgent toppings, just because pizza, for me, is more of a treat. So, when I have it, I want it to feel like a special experience. But I do appreciate the lighter toppings and how they can make you feel after eating. It's nice to know you've made a healthier choice while still enjoying pizza. Let's take a moment to hear from one of our listeners. Maybe they have a strong opinion on this matter. Hello, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Sarah and I'm calling from Chicago. I love this topic because I'm a huge pizza fan. Personally, I try to find a balance. I love the classic pepperoni and sausage combo, but I also like to add spinach or mushrooms to feel like I'm balancing things out. I think it's all about balance. Indulge a little, but don't go overboard.
That's a great strategy, Sarah. Mixing indulgent and healthy toppings seems to be a popular choice. It's interesting that you mentioned spinach and mushrooms because they're both nutrient-rich, but they also add great flavor. Do you ever feel like the healthier toppings take away from the pizza experience?
Not really. I find that they actually complement the more indulgent toppings. The spinach adds a fresh element, and mushrooms have that meaty texture, so I still feel like I'm getting a hearty pizza without it being too heavy.
That's a great way to look at it, Sarah. It's true that certain vegetables, like mushrooms, can add a depth of flavor that balances out the richness of the more indulgent toppings. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your thoughts.
Thanks for having me. I love your show.
Thank you, Sarah. It's always nice to hear how other people approach this debate. Sarah's approach is pretty practical. Combining indulgent and healthy toppings is a great way to enjoy pizza without the guilt. But I wonder, is there ever a situation where going completely indulgent is justified? Like a pizza that's all about the experience and flavor with no concern for health?
Oh, absolutely. I think there are definitely times when indulgence is the priority. Maybe it's a celebration, a special event, or even just a day where you're in need of comfort food. In those cases, I think it's perfectly fine to go all out, whether it's extra cheese, bacon, or even a meat lover's pizza. It's all about enjoying the moment and savoring the experience without worrying too much about the nutritional value.
I agree. Food is about enjoyment as much as it is about nutrition, and pizza in particular holds a special place as a comfort food. There's something about sharing a pizza with friends or family that makes it more than just a meal. It becomes an experience. And sometimes, indulgent toppings enhance that sense of indulgence. Let's take another call and see if anyone else has a strong opinion. Hello, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Tom from New York. I've been listening and I have to say, I'm firmly in the indulgent camp. For me, pizza is about treating yourself, so I don't think too much about healthy toppings. I want pepperoni, sausage, extra cheese, anything that makes the pizza feel like a real treat. If I want something healthy, I'll eat a salad.
Thanks for sharing, Tom. Sounds like you're all about enjoying pizza to the fullest. Do you ever feel like the indulgent toppings make the pizza too heavy, or is that part of the appeal for you?
It's definitely part of the appeal. I think of pizza as comfort food, so I'm not worried about it being too heavy. It's supposed to be a bit indulgent, in my opinion. That's what makes it satisfying.
That's a great perspective, Tom. I think a lot of people would agree that sometimes indulgence is exactly what you need. Thank you for calling in and sharing your thoughts with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for the great conversation.
Thanks again, Tom. So it seems we have a good mix of opinions. Some people are looking for balance while others are all about indulgence. I think this just highlights the versatility of pizza. Can be whatever you want it to be, healthy, indulgent, or somewhere in between.
That's one of the reasons pizza is so universally loved. It's adaptable to different tastes, dietary needs, and occasions. Whether you're looking for something light with fresh veggies or something hearty with extra cheese, there's a pizza for everyone. So, Elizabeth, after all this discussion, have you changed your mind about which is better, healthy or tasty?
I think my stance remains the same. Balance is key. Healthy toppings don't have to be bland or boring, and indulgent toppings don't have to overwhelm the entire pizza. It's about finding the right combination that satisfies your cravings without going to either extreme. How about you, Jennifer?
I still lean a little more toward indulgence, especially when it comes to pizza. But I do appreciate how healthier toppings can elevate the flavor and make you feel good about what you're eating. So perhaps a mix of both is the best way to go.
I think we can both agree that whether you choose healthy or indulgent toppings, the most important thing is to enjoy the experience. Pizza is one of those rare foods that brings people together, and that's what makes it special.
Well said, Elizabeth. And with that, we'll wrap up today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember, whether you prefer healthy toppings or indulgent ones, pizza is meant to be enjoyed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with your friends.
Yes, and let us know in the comments what your favorite pizza toppings are. Do you lean more toward healthy choices, or are you all about the indulgence? We'd love to hear from you. Until next time.
Take care, everyone. See you in the next episode.